The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
It's not often that a brand becomes a disruptor, but with over 3 billion downloads and 1.5 billion monthly users who are influencing everything from food and fashion trends to brand launches and even politics, there's no other word for it. It's a digital playground where anybody, anything, and any moment can go viral at any time. So whether you like to laugh at a prank-obsessed family or drool over a trendy new recipe, buy a canvas bag that you can take to all your podcast recordings, or cry at a touching human spirit moment, there is something for everyone. And because I, personally, like to lay in bed and scroll until I fall asleep in my jeans, that's why this week's On Brand is on TikTok.
You're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with John and Marissa.
Hey, I am John.
Hey, I'm Marissa.
Okay.
Wow, this is a big one for you.
This is a big one.
This is huge.
I know, and I don't even know why. I picked it like last minute. I was like, if you don't know, why would you know? I'm going to be traveling, so we're kind of trying to bank a handful of episodes before we do that. And I was like, I should pick a couple easier ones so that I can like get through the research quickly. And then I was like, I have to do TikTok now for some reason. And like, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there now. TikTok is a much bigger story and brand than we have room for in this hour.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different
I'm sure if you want a deeper dive.
Cast. But yeah, we'll still have fun with it. And you know, it's a brand that is that I enjoy and I have for several years now. I think it's an interesting brand because of how it has landed itself in the middle of like political wars, which we're not going to go very deep into at all, but that it, you know, kind of, it's a brand that started out kind of as like a thing for kids that has just really spread beyond what I assume was anyone's imagination that it could be. And I just find it very fascinating. You know, I've been on a roller coaster with it where I really liked it, and now it feels very different to me than it did when I first got on it.
When you reminisce about the old days of TikTok, have they like changed the interface over the years to where you feel like, oh, I miss old TikTok when it was this?
Well, it's a lot of things have changed, and a lot of it has changed for the better. Like and we'll get into it. Like it's one of those apps. Like when you open it, it just starts. You're just immediately scrolling. It is a mastermind at keeping people on the app. But when I first started, like if you scrolled past something or like closed it, like that video was gone. There was no way to save it. Now, like you can create folders. I have a folder of things I still want to show James Cameron that I think he'll find interesting.
Now, if you see like a whale, you'll say, be like, well, maybe down the road, James will want to see that.
100%. If I come across anything that's like bioluminescent, I'm like, oh, save for Jim. Someday I'll show this to him. And you have like your recipes and I told you I have like my best of the world. And like, I just, now you can organize things. It's one of those things. It's probably like the iPhone to me. Like anytime I get a new iPhone, I'm like, bitch, it's the same. But then you start to realize it has advanced a lot. Like if we were good to go back to iPhone 1, we'd probably be like, what the hell is this? You can do so much more that you know,
for your best of folder, that might be fun to have kind of playing on a projector at your funeral.
Oh, that would be fun. Right now, there's only 7 videos in it because I just started it, but
get to work, baby.
I got to get some stuff in there.
We could put your gym folder in there too. I'm sure those are nice videos also.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
I like to think I know what he would enjoy seeing. The best ofs are, people be like, he thought this was the best of? To me, they're like classics in my life. They're things that I can watch over and over and cry or laugh at every single time.
Sure.
But yeah, and I find it'll be interesting to do this show with you in particular, because I do feel like with TikTok in particular, but social media in general, and I am guilty of this with a lot of social media, but not TikTok. When I first got on it, I'd be like, oh, like, did you see this funny thing on TikTok? And people would be like, oh, I'm not on TikTok. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then like 2 months later, they would send me an Instagram of the TikTok I had wanted to show them. I'm like, bitch, you're on TikTok. You just don't know it. Like, you're just on another thing. But I do think it's one of those apps where people proudly are like, I am not a part of that. And I'm guilty of that with social media. I'm like, I don't really post on Facebook, or I remember you telling me like you saw something when we did Doughboys for the first time, and someone liked me and thought I was funny and tried to find me on like the internet. And they're like, his like whatever it's called, his like
your presence on the internet. Well, you're hard to Google because there are other John
there's
Glovers
an
out
actor
there
who was on Smallville. Yes. But like I don't have like a deep presence.
You have a URL, a website.
I do have johnglover.com, John Glover with an H.com.
We need HollywoodJustin.com.
Hollywood. I do own like 8 websites.
Yeah.
None of them are functioning. But yeah, so it's one of those things. It's like, and I think that has changed over time. I think I have watched it when I first got on it. One of the reasons that I really liked it was
The dancing,
obviously, but like I didn't know anyone on it. It wasn't like, here's what Bill from your high school is doing now. It was like all strangers just doing things that either I thought was funny or sad or silly or stupid. And it was a really nice escape. I didn't accept any like personal friendships in it. I wanted it to be just a completely separate thing from everything else.
Did they ask you when you sign up, did they say like, invite all your contacts?
That is one of the things they now do.
Okay.
They did not do that to me when I first started. And now, yes, now it's like, hey, I have a feeling you probably know this person. And it's also different now because I run 2 TikToks. I run my personal one and I run the on brand one, which has grown a lot. I think we're similar with our Instagram growth on that. But that one, I accept everyone as a friend.
Yeah.
So like friend, so it's now learning, oh, you probably know this person because you're friends with that person and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, so it's almost like not even a social media site. The point isn't to follow your friends. It's to
For some people,
see...
I think it is.
Okay.
For me, I just liked that it was a nice escape where I didn't have to see.
You always do.
No offense, someone's children or.
That's kind of part of your personality, though, the lurking in the shadows.
I just like.
A bit.
Yeah, I like to expose myself at the appropriate times.
To unsuspecting viewers.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
I like to step out in the light.
So you TikTok, do you TikTok throughout the day? Like if you're like waiting for your toast, are you popping on TikTok, or is it just like when we're hanging out?
It's either when
What's
we're
your
hanging out and
routine?
you're watching something that I have deemed boring.
The conversation drifts away from anything that interests you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pop in an earbud.
I have
an
one
earbud.
in. I quietly don't disturb anybody. No, TikTok for me is mostly a nighttime thing, or it's also a great like waiting in a doctor's office thing. Or that's what I was going to make off brand for me today. I forgot.
What? You can talk about it right now.
How about when you're in a waiting room, you don't play videos on your phone without earbuds?
Do people do that?
Every doctor I wait at
Are you
has someone
kidding?
in there just listening to a thing.
Full volume?
Not full volume.
But like
doesn't matter
not
though.
not like for only them.
No,
Loud
it's
enough
like
that you
loud
can
enough
hear.
that I mean, but I'm sensitive and crabby.
Is it like the kind of videos like scrolling videos, or is it like
it could be a
voicemail?
television show. It
Oh my
could
gosh.
be anything.
Wow,
it could
that
be,
is psychotic.
I know. It happened to me today. So that's
Were
why.
you at the ear doctor?
No. So you've never had that happen to you? Or if it has, you probably just don't notice it because I hyper focus on everything.
Yeah, I feel like you might notice things more than I do. Like, because you say you're like, everyone drives really bad. I never notice bad drivers. Like, it would have to be so, like, somebody would have to cut me off. So I feel like I haven't noticed a bad driver in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I drive very
You're a noticer.
energetically.
Sure, enthusiastically, with gusto.
Yes, with gusto. I want to get to where I'm going. I feel like most of the people around me, they're like, I'm going somewhere.
I feel like that's me.
Yeah, I feel like that's you too. You're like, I'll get there.
We'll get there, sure.
Maybe I'll stop
Sometimes
somewhere
I'm
else.
driving really slow because I'm trying to get my son to take a nap in the car.
Okay.
And so it's like, oh,
what do I
I
always say?
So it's like he has to fall asleep. This is really like a 10-minute drive. I need to stretch it into a 20-minute drive so he has enough time to fall asleep. And so sometimes I'm driving real slow. Sometimes I'm going 40 on the freeway.
That's actually illegal. You can get a ticket for going too slow.
Hasn't happened yet.
But it can happen. Anyway, that's not even what I wanted to banter about. I wanted to ask you, Marissa,
Yes.
have you had any issues at all with disc rot?
With what?
Disc rot?
What's disc rot,
Oh, you
John?
haven't heard about it?
No.
Well, get this. Warner Brothers apparently has made a statement after several consumers noticed that their DVDs produced between 2006 and 2008 are no longer playing because layers of the DVD are deteriorating and have now been deemed to have disc rot.
Disc rot.
Disc rot.
This feels like a time frame from which you have purchased DVDs.
I was probably buying complete seasons of The Simpsons.
This feels
in
very much in your
2007.
box set phase.
Oh my God. I know I've talked about it before, but the day that I was able to walk into Best Buy and buy the complete Sex in the City in the
yes.
pink velvet box for only $149, I could not believe
You
that
were like, I am getting away with something. This is such a steal. That reminds me of our friend Daniel, who, when Shazam came out, Shazam, where you can like hold up your phone and it tells you what song was playing, he paid early on in Shazam something like $100 for a lifetime membership to Shazam. Something that is now free.
it's been free forever.
Free forever.
I gotta say, Shazam, unsung hero of my
Yeah.
life. I probably use it 3 times a year. Some song will come on. You would probably use it daily because you don't know music as well.
Probably.
No offense.
No, I don't care.
But like sometimes a song will come on, and now you can just be like, open Shazam.
Uh-huh.
It immediately starts Shazamming. It's like, oh, it's Kristen Hirsch, and you're great. And
Who's that?
Babe.
I mean, should the Shazam inventors town square statue? They deserve some recognition.
Yeah, I feel like no one talks about him. No one cares about Shazam. They
You
just
know
take
who
it.
talk about it? We will.
We will.
We'll do it on
keep-
Shazam,
Well, we'll
on
have
brand.
Daniel on and see how he's feeling. What about, okay, so lifetime subscriptions. Do you have, like, there was a time, my friend Christine, I brought up a million times on the show, for my birthday every year for a few years, she would get me a year subscription to National Geographic because I'm a smarty pants and I
Sure.
like to learn.
That's
And
also a hard magazine to throw away.
It's like throwing away a book.
That's tough. You're going to have a lot of bins of those yellow spines.
And they're heavy. They really start to add up. But I remember they would sell a lifetime membership for like $600 and something.
Wow.
Where I was like, that's expensive, but if I were to live, it's a good deal. And I would contemplate it. I never
Yeah.
did it. And now I'm curious, like people that did do it, I'm sure at some point they're going to stop making print versions.
Well, and I feel like the price of, I'm very strongly in the camp of Pro Magazine. And a lot of these places, to keep up with digital competition, they'll raise the price to like $13 an issue. And I'm curious if National Geographic has done that as well. Because I could see when they started that lifetime membership, it might have been maybe like a little bit of a good deal, but it might be a phenomenal deal now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget how surprised I was when I went to go pick up Us Weekly magazine a few months ago when we were featured in it because we were a favorite thing of Terry Hatcher's. And I was gobsmacked that it was like $8 or $9. I thought
Crazy.
magazines were like $3.
Yeah, that was like from like 1990. That was from Disc Rot era.
I know. I do feel like I live in disc rot era a lot.
Have you tested your discs for rot?
I haven't. They're only Warner Brothers discs, so that's going to be your Clint Eastwood movies. That's my Friends box set. That's Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And signed by 2 of the Friends. So far, I have Lisa Kudrow and Matthew Perry.
Wow.
I know. I need the other 4.
We'll track them down.
I got to track them down.
Do you have a DVD player currently?
I do.
Okay, well, let's test those for rot. Let's get
I got
that
to
done
test.
ASAP.
Actually, can we pause this? I'll be back in like an hour. I'm not going to be able to get through this show if I,
I feel like I have disc rot.
babe. I started rotting decades ago. I thought it'd be fun, like if they, and apparently you can reach out to them and they will replace it if they have it. Like they're going to have it. They're going to have this old dusty DVD, maybe. But I thought it'd be fun if there was like a real obvious way that you knew that you had it. Like if you opened it up and it was like Snow White, like scare, like a skull and crossbones smoke came out like disc rot.
Yeah.
And you just
puff
knew
of
that it
green
didn't work
dust.
anymore. Yeah. But
Sure, that would be fun.
unfortunately, that's not
A
the
little
case.
like bone. If a DVD had a bone, do you think it'd be a circle?
Oh, almost.
Where are the nubs?
I was about to say all bones are circle, but
You know what I mean? Like a donut bone.
Oh, yeah. I think of it. Yes. Yes.
Okay, great.
To answer your question, if a DVD had bones, it would be a donut bone.
Okay, great.
Okay, perfect.
So, TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
Shall we get into the show? Do you want to learn about this app?
I would
Can
love
you
to
go
learn
in?
about this
Can I
app.
implore
Yeah.
you? I know you will. But can you go in with an open heart and not be like, oh, like not too many like groans and bemoans?
You know what? I will say this is a cultural phenomenon, and it's, as I've made clear, it's not my poison of choice. And
Okay, even calling it poison, it's like maybe my cup of tea.
it's not my cup of poison. I have other poisons. Like I'm sure if you did an episode about sugar, it'd be like, oh, the sugar industry, they like addict you to this product and then they sell it to you and it kills you. It like makes you whatever.
That's I would be like, sugar is so good.
Well, there's a take there. You know what I
Right.
mean? That there's like a lot of, devious maids behind the scenes. And that's, I think, maybe what's going on here. But, people have whatever they do to unwind at the end of the day.
Let's just say I went in with an open heart when you did those giant jeans. So
I spend 3 hours a day wearing Jankos, and I would appreciate your support.
I couldn't remember
I'm
their
happy
name.
that you have something that makes you happy.
I mean, happy. Passes the time. Passes the time.
I'm sure that I would find something that it would get its hooks in me. I mean, that's you said it yourself. It knows it finds what you like, and
its algorithm is insane. Its algorithm has gotten too. I don't enjoy it, but we'll get to that. It's like it used to be like, wow, it's really learning what I like. You used to always joke when I first got on it. All I was seeing were videos of people doing dance trends, gay boys doing things, and disabled people accomplishing things.
A lot of amputees.
Because those were the ones that I would click like on. And because I couldn't watch someone who was disabled accomplish something and not like it. I'm like getting teary and I can't even think of a specific one. It's just like the human
idea
spirit of it.
sure.
Yeah. So it really started to learn that that's what I like. But now it's like I look at a guy cracking open a geode. Every other video for the next 3 weeks are geode videos.
It's like, you like geodes.
Okay, this guy loves geodes. It's like it drank coffee. Like it's on crazy steroids or something.
That's wild.
And you may or may not know it shut down for half a day in January. Ever since that happened, things have been a little off. Like
Interesting.
I'm getting a ton of Halloween and Christmas videos still. It is like known for being very of the moment.
Yes,
like it's
that's
like
really
this
funny.
happened in the news today, and people are like, "So I'm thinking for my Halloween party, I'm like, what?"
Party City is closing.
Exactly. So it's like something's happening right now.
Something's a little
I'm
off.
not sure
That's
exactly what it
interesting.
is.
Yes, I am sure that if I downloaded TikTok and watched it, it would be 8 hours would go by and my children would be hungry and I would be ignoring them because I would be so hooked on it.
I will say more than once I have been on it when you get the TikTok video telling you that you've probably watched too many TikToks for a moment.
How long is it before it says that?
I thought it was an hour. I read recently that it's 2 hours. I don't know if that has changed or if I actually would scroll for 2 hours.
Wow.
I would not be surprised.
I mean, when you have a clock, you know how long you are on it.
Yeah, but I'm laying in bed. I'm not like, okay, I started TikTok now. It's like you're just scrolling. And the thing is, I always thought it was like, I kind of associate it with how I felt about the tobacco industry. Like you would always hear like quitting smoking is harder than getting off of heroin. I always thought that the tobacco industry started that rumor. So people would be so scared to try to quit smoking because when I quit, it was hard, but I wasn't in rehab and sweating and like getting injections
like
and
detoxing
stuff. I
from
wasn't
it.
detoxing. So I feel like this is the same thing. They do that video and then I scroll by it real fast. I'm like, shut up. I know what I'm doing. Like, it's like, don't tell me I've been doing this too long. And then it keeps me going longer.
I thought you were going to say, so you think that actually quitting TikTok would be harder than quitting heroin?
No.
What would be harder to quit, smoking or TikTok?
Smoking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm sure there's other things I can watch. There's so much television.
That's true.
There's so many other, I can go to YouTube and do stuff.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so let's get into the show.
Let's get into it.
So we got to start with a guy. So let's start with Yang Yaming. And this is a guy, he was born on April Fool's Day in 1983 to a middle-class family in China. He graduates with computer engineering degree in 2005. And when he graduates, he's really got just like these like big dreams of creating this big life for himself. I mean, a lot of people, we all did. Like when we grew up in very modest families, we dream big. 2007, the iPhone comes out and he's just so blown away by it, like we all are. I remember getting my first one. I didn't get it until like 2009. But just, I remember having thoughts like, this is so thoughtful, like everything they did, like the way you scroll and it gently bounces back, like there was something super special about it. Now we completely take it for granted, but just to kind of put you in that mindset, if you remembered or if you weren't there, it was a very special device at the time.
Absolutely.
So he gets it and he really sees this potential for like where mobile internet and connectivity is going to go. He thinks that's the next big wave. That's what he wants to be a part of. In 2009, him and his friend Liang Rubo, they co-found a company called 99 Fang, and it's a real estate search engine. In 2012, Yaming sees a quote that really sticks with him, and it says, "Small places mean big dreams." And him and his partner rent an apartment and found a company called ByteDance. And this is early 2000. And they get a bunch of people that are working for them at 99 Fang to join in on this new endeavor. They decorate the entire apartment with IKEA, a favorite of ours. I think that was our second episode. If you haven't heard it, go back and give it a listen. Starts with a fish. That's all I'm going to say, I think, right? Didn't in IKEA, like he walked around selling a fish. So they're all in this apartment and starting this new thing. In March 2012, they launched their first app. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these Chinese names and apps, but the app was called Nihan Duanzi. And I've came across it in several articles I read, and it was translated every article translated it in a different way. It either translates to profound gags, subtle jokes, implied jokes, or vulgar jokes.
That's really funny.
Or one of a million other things. But basically, it was a platform where people could upload and share various forms of comedy videos, jokes, memes, and just other short videos.
That's interesting because what did you say this was?
March of 12.
So this feels like Vine. I mean, it's like all these things kind of, the seeds are there. Like there's already an interest in these like video sharing platforms. And it's just interesting to see how like one will come and then go and then another one pops up and then goes, but people use them in slightly different ways.
Yeah, and that's what I was learning. Like some of them, like the videos, they were giving them too much time, so they were too long and people weren't interested. And then maybe they're too short. And it was like Vines. I mean, I gotta say, I was not part of the Vine world. I now on TikTok, there are TikTok accounts that are like the best of Vine. I could watch those all day. A Vine, I do think, was that real sweet spot of you have 7 seconds to create something and that's it. And they would always start weird or in like the way that they would cut off. They were just, oh man, you can rabbit hole down the best
and
of
Vines, it feels like it was a lot of like skits, like a lot of like pre-written kind of skits.
Yeah, it was like 7-second improv basically.
Which I feel like
or sketch.
TikTok or Instagram, a lot of it is like seems like it's trying to sell a product or trying to like lifestyle aspirational, but like Vine, it felt like it was like little 7-second like little comedy skits.
Well, that's what TikTok has turned into now, and we'll get to that. When it started, it was more just to give you but we're not even at TikTok yet. So we're in August of 2012, and they launch another app, and this is their first version of a news and content platform called Taotio, which translates to headlines. And this would really become their core product for ByteDance. It's powered by AI, and it becomes one of the most popular news aggregators in China. By November of 2018, it has been installed in more than 240 million devices. So huge hit for them.
Wow.
In 2013, and this is kind of what you were talking about now, the world is going through like an app race. Like all the companies and all the phones are trying to figure out how do we get the people to look at our devices for the longest period of time. We want all eyeballs on us.
Draw Something, that app that we used to play where we would
Oh my
have to
God,
draw. It
yes.
was like a little Pictionary game we would play. And it feels like that was probably 2013. You'd be in the living room, you'd say, oh, there's this new fun app that everyone's doing, the face swap one, the like whatever, mustache myself, whatever, these funny little apps. Draw Something, I think that was the one, right? It was like
Yeah.
a Pictionary game. And then we saw, oh, it sold for $1 billion. Somebody acquired it for $1 billion. Never played it again, never heard of it again. It feels like this was a time where maybe people were going big on these gambles and some were paying off and then some were absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And Draw Something was a perfect example of that. Like it was something we all got into so fast. A lot of these apps, like in this, that's another thing. Like, and I used to be a part of it, and I'm so not anymore. I think about my phone, like I was always, and maybe I was just a different age. So I was always like downloading like the hot game of the moment, and everyone was into a thing for a while. It's kind of like that game.
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, of course, but the one now that
Wordle.
I think, what's the Wordle? Is that
Yeah,
the
the
five
New York
letter?
Times
Yeah,
one.
like, and that's one I never got involved in, but it was like, that one I feel like has stuck around longer. But it's
Yeah,
like
I
kind of
think
these
so.
trends that people get on.
Al, does your family still do a daily Wordle?
A lot of people do. And out of nowhere, like I saw an old friend, she probably doesn't listen to the pod, so she won't know I'm shouting her out. But like she has just recently started posting her Wordles on Facebook. I'm like,
Just
what
now.
is happening? It's like, you guys are never going to believe what happened on Sex and the City 19 years ago. It just feels so dated.
Hey, do you
but-
have the latest disc for Sex and the City? Mine has disc rot.
Oh, no. Mine has disc rot too. Don't bring that up because I'm going to need to go home. Okay, so now it's 2015, and Yao Ming has this idea of his dream television station that only shows you things that it thinks that you will like.
Wow.
He calls it recommendation engine. And it's basically like an algorithm. It's like it figures out what you want to see, and that's all that it shows you.
Wow.
And this is really what ByteDance apps become known for. They rely almost entirely on big data algorithms to feed users content based on their personal preferences. And it's this like whole AI-driven approach to content distribution that helps them achieve a $30 billion valuation, which is just enormous,
Wow,
like
that's
being
crazy.
so young. So in 2016, ByteDance launches Douyin in China. And this is the first actual incarnation of TikTok. This is basically Chinese TikTok. It's got the same like logo and everything. And it's a short form video social media platform. They developed it in 200 days,
Whoa.
which seems very fast.
seems quick.
I have no idea how long that is. That's like
Was
2
it like
years.
3 guys?
365 days in a year. It's like one man's, I don't know. But I don't know if that's long or short in the scheme of things. Now that I'm reading it, I assume that's pretty quick or it wouldn't have been made of note. But in that world, that seems like, whatever. So, and we talked about this a little bit. Unlike most video apps, there's no play or pause button on Douyin. You open the app and the videos just start playing immediately. And you scroll through a bottomless feed of 15-second videos. And it's a lot like Instagram when you're scrolling through like your photo feed of Instagram. And because it's mobile only and the content is so bite-sized and easy to consume, people are using it everywhere. They use it on the train and on the street and in doctor's offices, in bed, at work. And the most popular types of content on Douyin are dance videos, comedy, things about babies, life hacks, food, pets, prank stunts, kind of what we see now in TikTok. But what I found interesting is, and this is one of those things you do kind of have to keep putting yourself back in that place because we are now 11, 12 years outside of this. So
Sure.
everything just seems so normal. But at the time, these were the things that ByteDance was doing differently to make this app successful. The first one was they treated their creators really well. They would promote them. They would subsidize. I can never say that word. Subsidize.
Yeah.
You can keep all that in. now.
Okay, great.
Subsidize their traffic. What? I did it again. I did it wrong again.
Subsidize.
Subsidize.
Oh, you put, there's no T.
Subsidize.
Subsidize.
Subsidize
Yes.
their traffic. In November 2017, ByteDance held a conference celebrating all of its content creators and announced that it would spend $300 million to help them increase their followers and generate revenue. So it's not like, we made this thing, you guys use it, whatever. They're like, you guys, we need you.
Yeah.
Let us help you. That'll only help us. They really understood that early adopters could make the success of this app.
We could have been sent to TikTok boarding school, and they'd put us up and they'd buy us lights and cameras.
Do you remember when reality shows started to get big? And first it was literally, they were so good because no one had seen them. The first survivor will always be the best survivor because no one had done it before, and they figured all these things out. And within a couple of years, there was reality schools. You would go to school to learn how to be the villain or learn how to be the hero or how to do confessionals or stuff. It was crazy. They even did in the early days, ByteDance would go to art and music schools in China and recruit good-looking young artists to produce content for the app.
Wow.
And then they would help them grow the followers. So they were really kind of...
Yeah, they're pulling some strings.
And this isn't the first time I heard that they favored good-looking people. There have been some things, and I have I'm going to go through the whole TikTok show, and at the very end, I have a 1 minute, and here's some of the bad things that they do. I think they hate ugly people and fat people and disabled people.
Oh, no.
But I think maybe they're loosening up on that. So supporting creators is one thing. Hashtags was
hot creators. Yeah.
Supporting attractive creators. Douyin regularly launched hashtags that would serve as trending topics or themes on the platform, and then everyone would make videos with those hashtags that would get them more views and more likes and stuff, and that would help creators grow as well. Another thing that they did was they provided a toolkit in the app, and that let anyone with a smartphone and a good idea create these 15-second videos that really had the potential to go viral. It gave them a large library of music, it gave them a ton of filters they could use, it gave them very easy to understand editing software. And they even made accessories for the phone to make all that easier ways to hold your phone.
Wow.
They just really wanted it to be an easy process. So you have everything that you need to make it big. Comments is another thing that they did kind of differently than everyone else. And I got to say, on TikTok, it is a thing with me and a lot of people, the comments on videos. You'll watch the comments have become as equally as entertaining as the video themselves.
Really?
And there's a whole thing, if you watch a video and something happens into it, you gotta get to the comments, and you'll get there and you'll be like, am I the only one that ran to the comment? Everyone's running to the comments to see what everyone else is gonna say about this thing. So they turn the comment section into this whole social hub. You don't have to pause the video to make a comment, so you can keep watching it while you're making your funny jokes. You go in there to be funny. It's just this whole other side of it that really helped it do well.
Desire for community.
Yeah. Obviously, and this is a word that I always say wrong.
We're struggling with words today.
I know, but I've already said it a million times in the show.
Okay.
Algorithm.
I
always want to say
arugula.
But I'm just throwing it out there. Algorithm. Obviously, we've talked
perfect.
about that being a big part of what they do. So you probably don't know this because you don't use TikTok, but you have different feeds in TikTok, but the main one is the For You page. And that is the algorithm.
So you follow people. Could you see the people just you follow? And then you could also go to
Very good.
For
I feel like I have a good student. Yes, you also have the following tab.
Okay.
That's everyone that you watch, and you click that I will follow them.
Great.
And that's how you grow your audience. People follow us. So
Lady Gaga, vinyl deals.
100% I follow Lady Gaga and vinyl things as well. But those are the people that you personally like, and they'll show up in your feed. But the For You page is really
That's just, you tell me what I like.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really kind of great because it does, especially in the beginning when I first got on it, it really did find things that you would like. Its whole goal is to keep you looking at your phone.
A noble goal.
Well, it's a business goal.
It's a
like
business,
any other
yes.
business. It's their goal is for you to use their product.
That's what, and that's what they say. If it's free, you're the product. Your attention is the product.
Do you remember what I said about
I'm just saying it's free. It's free to use. It's free to use.
Coming into it with an
your
open
attention
heart.
is the product.
Heart. Let's have big hearts today.
My heart is open.
My heart is open. I've received this. Let me move past yours. I need to stew for 8 seconds. We'll pass the stew.
It's a business. You said it's a business.
Yes. Their goal. So you can interpret what I said is their whole goal is to be a successful business.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, so you watch things and they did find ways of showing me things that I wouldn't have even known to search that I would really like. And it's like not you're just watching like on Instagram, you get your feed, my Instagram feed, I've never, and this is me, like I was saying at the beginning, I'm not that big of an Instagram guy. Only shows me people I follow, I think, or things very close to it, like brands that it thinks I would like and stuff. I see the same handful of people all the time. This is really about discovery. And I think that's what TikTok has mastered. It helps you discover creators that...
No, I'm just imagining you in bed going like, I don't know about, oh, okay, wow. Are we sure? I like it. I like the idea of you being caught off guard by something that you're like, am I going to like this? And you're like, okay.
I like that
I'm in.
I like that you think that like we're that like conscious and talking to ourselves when we're going through it. But it is that, but probably much more subliminal.
Okay.
Like, oh wow, this doesn't seem like someone I would like. Oh, okay.
I'm on board.
But then there's a lot of nope. It gives me a lot of stuff that it is wrong a lot of
Does it hurt your eyes?
No.
Your eyes don't get tired?
I had my eyes checked this week and he said they were in great shape.
Great.
He did say I should probably stop watching TikTok.
No, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that. He said they were great.
Your sleep hygiene, though.
Huh?
Your sleep, if you had a sleep doctor, they would mention that.
Yeah, probably. No, I don't even stay up that late. I do.
What?
I have lately watched it until I fall asleep. Or not even just TikTok, anything. Like I use my phone until I fall asleep and I wake up and my phone's in my hand.
Like still being like, this is the new viral dance. I don't even know how TikTok starts.
We know.
Check out the new viral dance. Like that's just blasting from your phone like at 7 a.m.
Yeah, it'll just be a loop or it'll just go black. I mean, it just turns itself off.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, within a year, this app had over 100 million users and more than 1 billion videos viewed every single day. So, and this is only in China. So it is safe to say that it was doing very well. So let's put a pin in ByteDance for a minute. We're going to go over to another company for just a second. So we have this other pair of friends, Alex Zhu and Luyu Yang from Shanghai, China, and they build an educational social network app. The users make short form videos, 3 to 5 minutes long.
Might be a little long.
Seems a little long. And these are educational videos. They could be used both to teach people or to learn. They get investors to fund them. It takes them 6 months to build it. Wait. Hey, Siri, how many days are in 6 months?
6 months is 182.62 days.
The same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
So it takes them the same. So 200 days is about 6 months.
Maybe not that fast after all.
Yeah, maybe not that fast. It's like KFC, and he's like, I got cooking chicken down to 8 minutes. We're like, what? That's longer than it takes anyone. You could cook it in the sun. Once it's launched, there's not a lot of traction, and content is not very engaging. The funding dries up, and they shut it down.
Darn.
But they decide to go to bat again, because that's what you do. They decide they want to stay in the video content space. They wanted it to be, whatever they make this time, to be a little more light, a little more playful, a little shorter. They decided to keep the limit to videos between 15 seconds and a minute long. The users could select music snippets for their videos, which people really seem to enjoy. And then they noticed something very interesting. They started to see a spike in their downloads on Thursday evenings. Why Thursdays? It just so happened that was the night that new episodes of celebrity game show Lip Sync Battle aired. So while that show was airing and afterwards, they were getting more downloads and lip sync content became very popular.
Okay. Must see TV.
Must
Thursday
see
night.
lip sync. Have you ever seen Lip Sync Battle? I gotta say, some of them are really
No.
good. The one with, who's the guy?
I'd love for you to pull this name.
Who's that guy? Tom.
Bergeron,
No.
former host of AFE.
No. Tom.
Cruise, American movie star.
Doan's Bakery Cake? No. Tom. I want to say was he a Spider-Man?
Oh,
Brady? Hardy? Hardly? Holland. If you haven't seen the Tom Holland lip sync battle where he does Umbrella,
Okay.
you got to watch it.
It's fun.
It's really good.
Okay.
So they were noticing that long videos are out, short videos are in, and they could create a space for these people. They create this new app. They call it Musical.ly, and it was officially launched in August of 2014. They launch it in both China and America. Chinese are kind of like, meh. American teams are like, yeah.
Wow.
So they have a very small crew. They decide to put all their resources into focusing, or most of the resources into focusing on the American market. And they quickly gain a small but loyal following of active users that are called musers for Musical.ly.
Okay.
And then they decided, like, they could tell that the app was doing well, but it wasn't doing great. And then they discovered something that they considered to be a problem. They noticed that when people were...
Everyone was too ugly.
There was a lot of fat and ugly people. That's awful. I hate
I
TikTok.
know that. If that's something they're actually doing.
But that's our society. I feel like that's everywhere. Look at Vogue magazine.
I know, but look at like.
They don't have Hog magazine.
But now, I mean, there's obviously a big like body positivity movement. Models, you know, you can have it look any different way. Where photoshopping is out, we want to see natural, real people.
Yeah.
So TikTok. Yeah, I'm on to you.
Well, and that's also what I got to say. The research I'm doing, like it's a relatively short window. I mean, articles started to be written about it mostly in 2018, so it's only like 8 years. So some of the stuff have read could be outdated, and it could have changed a lot. And I just didn't, you know, it can only be so thorough. Anyway, I'm doing my best. I do the best I can. All right, so like I was saying, they discovered that when people were sharing their videos, their logo was not in the video frame. So it was getting cut off. So people are getting these videos and they don't know where they're from. So they literally just made a small tweak, moved their logo so that it would be within the frame of the video and added the username to whoever created the video.
Okay.
So then when you sent it, everyone knew that it was a Musical.ly video and who made it. And believe it or not, that small change made an insane difference.
That's really smart. You got to put your tag on it.
Exactly. By July 2015, millions of users were lip syncing millions of songs. Musical.ly climbed to the #1 position in the Apple App Store.
Have you ever heard of this app?
I had, but I had never used it.
Okay.
This was very much a younger person's app.
see.
Like TikTok was when it first started, had that stigma of being a young person. It quickly outgrew that. Musical.ly was...
It's for teens.
And it's 2014.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
living
another
life.
time.
We're going to Big Sur. We're camping. We're doing a lot of things. It became the most downloaded free app in over 30 countries, including Canada and Germany and the Philippines and Brazil. By May of 2016, over 10 million new videos are posted every single day. And then, of course, June 2016, Coca-Cola gets involved. They launch a Share a Coke campaign. And it's the first time they start using user-generated ads as a model. A month later, they create a feature so people could go live, which is another thing on TikTok that is really big that you probably don't know about. Once you have a certain amount of users, you can start doing live streams. And it's really, you're seeing all the seeds of TikTok growing into this. And that's when ByteDance actually moves in. They acquired Musical.ly on November 10, 2017 for $1 billion.
Oh my gosh. That's some serious moolah.
That's a lot of cash.
That's a lot of
It's a lot of
cash.
lip syncing.
It is. Who knew I could get so rich from lip singing?
Who knew that in 200 days I could be a billionaire? All I have to do is dance and pretend I'm singing.
I don't even have to be a good singer, but I do have to be hot.
I do have to. I should probably be a little thinner, less hog-like. All right. So 9 months later, ByteDance combines Douyin with Musical.ly and forms TikTok. And just so you know, there's basically two products. Douyin stays Douyin in China. Everywhere else in the world, it's TikTok. But China has a lot of restrictions and there's a lot of things they can't do. So they want to keep that contained in its own thing. So we don't see Chinese videos.
Oh, there's no crossover.
It's no crossover. They're completely separate things. So now you have these two big apps that have melded into one super app. And like we were saying, Musical.ly is very teen-oriented, but TikTok really starts to get like all ages and all types of people. You've got police officers and teachers and chefs and moms and families and, of course, teens and retail employees and everyone like joining this app. It's very similar to Douyin. You have your For You page, and that's the feed that it's going to keep giving you. And then it starts to, you see this world kind of creating. It's kind of like the Wild West of this app. Like everyone's kind of trying to like find their place in it, figure out what they can do with it, how they can monetize from it. You start to see all these different niches, which get nicknames like book talk and gay talk and food talk and fashion talk. And I would like to think brand talk. And you start to fall into those things. I'm obviously in gay talk and other things, but your feed is completely different than anyone else's feed. Guys, remember my friend Scott was over once and he's like, you know how on TikTok you're always getting videos of like those hot women that do this? And I'm like, no. Like I have no hot women at all. But I'm like, you know how you always get those shirtless boys that are on the beach doing like sit-ups? And he's like, what are you talking about? So that's what I really like about it. It is two very different experiences.
Yeah, for sure. It's customized. It's custom tailored.
Yeah. And then they started doing something that was called challenges. This is very similar to the hashtag thing.
The ice bucket challenge.
No, but I appreciate that you do know what a challenge is.
Is that a challenge?
Not on TikTok.
No, but like, is that an example? Is that an example of a type of challenge?
Well, sure. I mean, a challenge could be anything. It's basically like...
It's not like eat a spider.
Here, you know what? Instead of me telling you, why don't I have Jimmy Fallon explain it?
Oh my gosh, he's here live on Skype.
Guys, last week on the show, I told you about this cool app that I've been getting into called TikTok. It lets you post short videos of you doing fun stuff like lip syncing or acting out a silly scene. And they have this great hashtag feature called Challenges, where they challenge people to make videos about a certain topic. So I came up with one of my own called the Tumbleweed Challenge. And I asked you guys to make videos of yourselves dropping to the ground and rolling around like a tumbleweed every time you hear this. Yeah,
so that kind of explains like you come up with a hashtag and then a premise and then everyone just does it. So and this was one of the first ones.
It's kind of like a drama class game.
Yeah, kind of like a drama class game. So like now you look up, this was before I was on TikTok.
I don't think I've seen you tumbleweed.
I haven't. And I searched tumbleweed challenge and I gotta say it's embarrassing because like people were doing it everywhere. Like people would do it in Target. Like all of a sudden they're just like rolling past everyone in line at Target with that song playing. But it's like a million of those kind of things. But it's like how you build community and how you grow the app and all those things. So people really enjoyed those. And then you start to get people that are really starting to like stand out on the app and really getting enough views that, you know, they're going to become interesting to brands in other places. Okay. You had this one kid, Cameron, who in like 2015, he had started to learn like dance moves on YouTube and he would post them on Musical.ly and he would get some viewers, but then he kept practicing and then TikTok came out and he got a job at Walmart and he would like do these same videos at Walmart. So he's wearing like his Walmart vest and doing these dance moves there. And on TikTok, like he started to get hundreds of thousands of views and it really became what I noticed, even when I got on it, is as you're scrolling, like if you follow someone like Cameron, every time you see him, it's got the same look to it. Like people were learning how to brand themselves. Like he's the Walmart dancer kid.
Yeah.
So he's
even before you know what the video, if you see it, you're like, oh, that's a Cam vid.
Yeah. And I've actually had, my friend Sean said that about our on brand stuff on Instagram. Oh. He says when it comes up, he can always tell when it's one of our things and it makes him happy. And that's the whole thing.
Well, we are very savvy marketers.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to pat ourselves on the back. I'm saying that is like, that is what branding is. I'm wearing a Coca-Cola shirt right now. Yeah. Anyone sees this has some sort of connection to Coca-Cola. So basically people are just learning how to brand themselves. You have this one guy, Cabby Lomé. He was a creator who basically would just kind of make fun of life hacks. Like people would post these like, here's an amazing life hack. If you do this and this, it makes this so much easier. And then he would like, he had this like deadpan videos where he comes on, just does it a normal way that's 10 times easier than the life hack.
Yeah.
And then like, that was his whole thing. He is now, as of I think last year, the most followed person on TikTok with 162 million followers.
My God.
It makes me insane because he used to drive me crazy. I didn't love the joke was kind of one note for me. So I would always scroll past him. And when I was doing this research, I was like, I saw his name. I searched like who were the most successful people on TikTok and it said Cabby Lomé. And I'm like, who is that? And I looked it up and I was like, are you kidding me? That guy who I used to not be able to swipe fast enough is like...
He's like one of the biggest celebrities
and
in
probably makes
America,
millions.
probably.
He's probably monetizes it to make millions of dollars. All these people now do like collabs with like major brands.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy what can be accomplished for probably a small few on this app. In 2020, that's when you really saw a lot of growth, obviously, because
Oh, COVID.
COVID. It makes perfect sense. Everyone's quarantined and they're looking for connection. According to Statista, TikTok saw 180% growth between 15 and 25-year-olds during that time period. 2 billion plus downloads and 1 billion active users a day.
Wow, yeah.
People are spending more time on TikTok than pretty much any other social
They're
media.
dancing.
There's so much dancing.
They're making bread.
They're like making it. There was like a viral like feta and tomato recipe that everyone.
I remember. Yeah, you talking
everyone's
about
like
that.
pouring like feta and tomato and stuff. Like so many. I couldn't even remember all the things that have come and gone. That were
The shelf life for trends now feels like it's so short.
and they've changed so much. Like there used to be a trend where someone would just make a declaration and then you could stitch that. So there was one that became so famous. We'd see it so many times. It was something like, what's that thing that lives rent-free in your head or something like that? And then someone would stitch that with the thing that lives rent-free in their head. And then that became like the person who made that thing all of a sudden is seen 1 billion times.
I see. Yeah.
I don't really see that much of that kind of like humor anymore. Like it has changed.
like the
over time.
humor, the type of TikTok like style has evolved also.
Yeah, and I feel like the actual TikToks of like creators has either shrunk or what you were given has shrunk because there's so many ads for movies, ads for TV shows, ads for vacations. TikTok Shop is a new, not new, but it wasn't on there when I first got on there, but now TikTok is trying to sell you things. I said that thing in the open about the canvas bag. That was the first thing I ever bought off of TikTok. But it's because they showed me that ad for that canvas bag probably 400 times before I was finally like, fine, I will buy it.
If I buy it, will you stop showing
And I
it
go to
me?
buy it and they're like, great, thank you for buying it. Here's a coupon. You can have that bag for $7. And I'm like, great, I'll take 2. And I got one in black also. It just works. But yeah, there's all these things that you have to wade through before you get to the things I like. So it has become a lot less fun. But you have like now so many like
Everything's like a big box store now. You have to sort through the piles to find the stuff you like. It's less like of a boutique experience.
yeah.
Interesting.
Someone that made me think of something. I saw a thing someone posted this week, like dating over 50 is like they were comparing it to like
This is like a Kathy cartoon. Is that what you
Basically.
saw? A Kathy cartoon?
no, in my this is all my stupid Facebook feed has become is like quirky, funny things people say. It was like basically
Was like the picture that went with it like an old lady with curlers in her hair and a lot of red lipstick?
yeah, and all she had a speech bubble and it just said "ack." I didn't get it, and there was a lot of like crazy lines around her.
Yeah.
No, they were comparing dating in your 50s to being something like going to like TJ Maxx, like clearance rack.
What's left?
Yeah, what's left? So you've got like Netflix joining in. They've got like 36 million viewers on it. Chipotle's in it. Scrub Daddy has a big push on there. Like all these brands have now like, of course. So something I was saying in the open is how TikTok has really become a disruptor in so many different things. And I was just thinking about these. I didn't even really like look these up to see. But the main one is just having a Chinese app overtake all of these Silicon Valley apps. Like you've got Facebook and Instagram, which I think are the same thing now. But
Meta.
that's all. This is
All
literally
Meta.
all the same, and all of Zuckerman stuff.
All
Oh wait, that's
Zuckerman.
all. Is that his name?
Zuckerman.
Zuckerberg.
Zingerman's.
sandwiches.
They're in there.
They're in there. Oh, that Reuben.
That's
Someone
part
sent
of
me that
it.
sandwich kit. Talk about 100 episodes is coming up. What a gift that would be. The Zingerman's, Reuben. Swap out the
The rye for sourdough and the sauerkraut for coleslaw.
perfect.
Yes.
It's the perfect present. But you have this Chinese app coming in, really invading it, and I don't think Zuckerman liked that very much. I know it's Zuckerberg, but I can't stand the guy. Talk about a weirdo. I saw him yesterday. Like, he looks so insane. Like, his hair looks like it's painted on. He has dead AI eyes. The way he talks, everything about him is psychotic.
Would you blow Zuckerman?
Oh, yeah. I would blow Zuckerman.
Looking into his cold, dead eyes.
Yeah, stare at me. Of course I would. I mean, come on. I would get rich just from that.
When he nuts, does he go exporting? Exporting or experting? There's kids who listen to this. We'll move
Diffusing
on.
the situation. Ha, ha. That's a good joke.
We'll move
he just
on,
has
move
a
on.
few things he repeats. No, I didn't want to move on. I could talk about Zuckerman. I got his name right. Zuckerberg splooging all day long. All right, so they're disrupting that industry. Then you have brands coming in and seeing how many likes and follows all these influencers are getting, like us. We are now influencers.
Yes.
So they're spending now billions, and they have like budgets of billions of dollars to have influencer advertising, which is a completely different thing that they've been doing. Of course, they've had celebrities promoting products forever, but this is like everyday people who have proven that they can get millions of eyes on them.
Yeah.
And getting these major brands that we've been talking about for 2 years to give them a bunch of money to hawk their wares.
It's wild. I feel like everything is turning into an infomercial where it's like, do you wake up tired? You should try this new vitamin protein shot. It's like, I feel like everything is just 3 a.m. Home Shopping Network
I know.
with people shilling their wares.
It really is
crazy.
Well, especially on a thing like TikTok, which you don't watch, because there's another thing that people do, a way they can monetize, where they're not necessarily a famous influencer, but if you reach a certain amount of followers, the stuff I'm talking about in TikTok Shop, like this bag that I bought, you can then sell that bag on their behalf.
So you could go, guys, do you need an everyday bag that can hold your flask of Baileys?
Yeah.
A
You have
Peeps
two
pillow?
front pockets, one for your Peep, one for your Baileys.
You need this bag.
And the people, so once you have enough followers, anyone can do that. And then you get a commission from that. And the people that are good at that, like Joseph, who sells this canvas bag, he's the main guy I've seen that does this bag. And the people that are really good at it don't do it like that. They don't do it like, and so if you guys looking for this, they shoot it like a TikTok.
Oh, wow.
But then the link will be there to buy the bag. And then at some point I get tricked and I'm like, oh, this is funny. And then I'm like, this is a commercial. And I get so mad when I see that link. I realize they're just making a good commercial.
Yeah.
And then they make money that way. They're disrupting the music industry. This all started with music, having this huge music library available to people to make their content was such a big part of this app. But now people are posting their own songs on it and becoming famous that way. Lil Nas X, was not signed to a label or anything. And then his song blew up on TikTok. He got signed to a major label and now is like a huge music star. I think it disrupted the news industry. There's so many people that over the last few years have either walked away from mainstream media or don't trust it. There's a bunch of people that have risen up to be like the voice of news. Even people like Don Lemon, who was on the news and then I don't know if he was fired or left on his own accord, but now he has a TikTok. People go to him for
with the headlines.
Yeah, for
the hot
reliable,
takes.
what they believe is a reliable news source. You have that one woman, I don't know if you've ever seen her. She's like, reports everything from under a desk. She's another one of those people that drives me
don't
crazy. But she's like, lays under
Is
a
she
desk.
hiding?
No, it's just her gimmick.
thing, okay.
Yeah, and like she's blown up, so she'll like she's been on major news, but she's like definitely a news personality.
Okay.
She's one of those people that like I scroll people that are too gimmicky or like I'm like meh.
Yeah, you got to stand out.
You do, but I'm sure
You're
she's
like,
making.
who's that guy who talks about world events while he's eating like 70 hot dogs?
I could do that. Is that me?
That
Who's
could
that
be you.
hog boy that talks about brands? And then shopping, we already talked about. And then the last thing I was going to say, disrupted is politics. Like you have politicians using it for their campaign in addition to just everyday people like filming political events. So you're getting really different like eyes on things that you wouldn't see like instantly.
Yeah.
And it's helping people form opinions and coalesce for like protest or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. Like, like it's just another tool that people are using to
Find their people.
find their people and make sure their voices are heard. So that's a pretty big deal for an app that started out like in an IKEA furnished apartment that was basically supposed to be like videos, like joke videos for kids.
Do you think they kept the Ektorp, the Billy bookcase?
You think the Billy bookcase is now in like the Chinese Smithsonian?
Should be.
I hope so. I did want to give a shout out to the Hartford Courant and the documentary TikTok Boom on Amazon Prime.
Cool.
Because I did pull a lot of research and relied on them for a lot of this information.
Nice.
And in 2021, it became the most downloaded app of that year. It beat out Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. I don't think it beat out Twitter because Twitter's never brought it up. And the one time it was, I do think it was like, it's still behind Twitter. So I love that people just leave that one out.
It's also kind of like a different, not like a video.
Yeah.
sharing. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Well, either way, Zuckerman is stewing.
Zuckerman can stew in. By 2024, TikTok was valued at $84.2 billion by investors.
Louise.
2025, this year, they have over 1.5 billion active users. And they say Wits or Wagers, the average user opens the TikTok app how many times a day?
15.
Al?
25.
20.
Oh, okay.
Right in the middle.
I guess they're like longer sessions, what
Yeah.
you're saying. It's like you open it and then you're there for 2 hours.
Or not always. I mean, if I'm at the doctor's, I watch like 30 videos and I move on. Open heart, Mar.
My heart's open.
Heart. Okay.
Hey, it's all good.
Here's a couple of stats for you. TikTok stats. 272 videos posted every second.
Stat attack.
34 million videos posted every day.
Stat attack.
And then basically something that I did find interesting is that a lot of people see TikTok as consumption, not creation.
Oh.
95% of US TikTokers say that they use it for entertainment. 48% have never posted a video.
Oh, interesting.
And of the people that have, only 40% of users who have posted on TikTok have made those videos public.
Wow.
Yeah,
Their
so-
own little personal archive. Have you ever posted videos? You have, right? Of you on your personal TikTok?
Yeah, not a ton.
Okay.
And then I switched to, now I pretty much only use the on-brand one.
see.
I do a lot of reposting on the on-brand one. Like when I'm going through in my feed, I get a lot of like fun things about brands we've done, either videos
Yeah.
people made. So I can just repost that on our thing.
That's good. Yeah.
So it's just kind of, and then I post the social media clips that Al makes for us.
Cool.
Like we have on our Instagram. Now, like I said, a handful of bad things I think TikTok does. They do something called shadow banning. That's when you make content and they won't release it out into anyone's feed.
Oh.
This is why there was a document found where they said they have like different tiers. And I hope that this is no longer the case.
Okay.
But if you watch TikTok Boom, you'll see this. Like they have tiers. Like one of the tiers is like, if the person is too...
What term did they use?
I forget. It was like basically if they're too fat or too ugly or too disabled, they're like level 4, which means they can only go out to a certain amount of people.
Can you find your level?
I mean, if you have this document, yeah, you can see like because mine.
Wow. If you
would
go into
always-
your profile and your settings, account info, can you be like level?
I don't think it tells you, but you know because when I would release my
Wow.
personal videos, they would never go past like 200. I'm like, now I know I'm on one of the tiers. I'm either on the gay tier.
But they must not blast everything out to like everybody. Even if you were like a girl, like a 18-year-old girl in a bikini, is it getting to everybody? There's so much stuff out there.
I think there's so much to their mathematical equation of
Wow.
how it works. Like they test it out, and if people are watching the whole thing, and if it gets enough traction, it goes out to more. It's very, I'm sure incredibly
they've
complicated.
created a code.
Yeah.
There might be a code or two at play.
There are people that have concerns about young people being on this too much, and that their lives are being dictated by an algorithm that a company has created for them, and we don't know the actual outcome of how that'll work out for
Sure,
them.
yes.
Not good. It's become a political hot button, used kind of as like a tool, like being dangled in front of people, maybe taken away. It could be, there's a chance it'll go away in April again.
Oh,
No
really?
one really
Wow.
knows what exactly is going to happen with it. Of course, people have security concerns about it.
data.
Maybe China is getting a bunch of data from
Yeah.
us. That's not good. But I mean, so is Amazon and so is Zuckerman.
Zuckerman,
There's your
yeah.
movie. Yeah, so is that all the bad things, John? That's probably all the bad things. Oh, yeah. They might censor people that they don't agree with. And actually, what I did learn, which is kind of genius of them, is they can censor you without removing your video.
Oh.
They can just not show
Just
it.
hide it, yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's kind of the perfect crime. They could be like, oh, something.
I guess your video wasn't good enough. No one
Sorry,
saw
it just didn't go out there. Well, that's TikTok. That's the like Cliff's Notes version of
Yeah.
TikTok. I hope.
Would you
learn-
recommend this documentary if people want to dig in a little further?
Sure.
TikTok Boom.
TikTok Boom on
Okay.
Amazon Prime. Pretty
Cool.
easy. You get a couple of the influencers interviewed, learn a little bit about how
Are they
it all-
happy?
You know, I do think it's such a world that I don't understand. I do think some people make an extraordinary amount of money from social media
Yeah.
that people like you and me don't really comprehend and probably poo-poo in a little bit because like I've worked hard my whole life. Like I started working at like before I was like legally allowed to work and worked jobs for years and years and years and have nothing to show for it except some 19 Lady Gaga autographs. But then these people come in and they make a couple dance videos and they're billionaires. So maybe I'm just jealous.
I think
but-
they want people to know about those few people who become billionaires because it will encourage people to aspire to that.
They did say something in that
Yeah.
documentary. I didn't jot it down, but it is like being an influencer is like in the top 3 or 4 goals of
Barf with a capital B. But that being said, open heart. But I think that will populate their platform is with people dangling the carrot of like, you can be a billionaire too. It's like you go into a casino. It's like, I want to be the one to win big. That's very, very rare. That's going to happen.
But then there's also this whole, like, I do think it leads to depression because it's like you put everything you're putting out there is kind of like this false reality of like, but that's no different really than like what we've seen in the past with like magazines and like things that are airbrushed. It's like everyone's always for advertising for so long, people are putting their best foot forward. So we're like Martha Stewart magazine or like Pottery Barn catalogs. It's like all these things that we see are these idealized
be
worlds.
Slightly aspirational, sure.
Yeah, that you're never really going to accomplish. Your house is never going to always be clean enough just to have a nice single basket of apples on your table and 12 vases of flowers. Alistair's probably will. But he does live in a pretty small place.
I wonder the if you're trying to make stuff with the hopes of getting it big and then you're not getting the likes or the whatever the reach that you want, if that does cause depression or anxiety, I don't know. I mean, I watched the Gabby Petito documentary, which was about YouTube, but
I watched that one as well. And that was the same thing. They would show you like, for this 30 seconds, we're super happy, but we're arguing right after it. But it's also the same as being an actor in this industry.
Yeah.
It's like 1% of them are Tom Cruises and Julia Roberts, and the rest of us are.
It's very similar, and you're sold
podcasts.
kind of the promise of glamour, glitz, and fame and riches, and we know that is not the case.
That being said, I am confident. 1 year from this day.
It was your New Year's resolution to become a content creator.
I know. And I remember when I first got into TikTok, I told you, I kind of want to start making TikToks. I made like 3.
Podcasting is a really fun fit for us. I watched WALL-E. I just don't want to go to WALL-E World.
Yeah, nobody wants to live in.
No one wants to live in WALL-E, and I feel like, maybe it's a trend. Maybe it'll die out. Maybe it'll get banned. Maybe the thing that comes next will be even more sinister. I don't know. I want to move as far away from WALL-E World as possible. Whether that's a prairie, whether it's selling jam on the roadside.
Well, I hope you get
We'll
that.
see.
Well, before we go, I can't do my normal Freak of the Weeks this week because we are recording earlier than normal. So the Insta Egg is actually coming out right after this show, so I don't have the people that have gotten it right. But I'm going to spin the wheel once anyway, just to pick a Freak of the Week.
Great.
And if you're not familiar, on our Instagram feed, we post supplemental material for every episode that gives you visuals of the things we talk about in an episode. But every Wednesday, I post an Insta Egg, which is a puzzle that lets you guess what our brand is going to be that week. If you guess it correctly, your name goes into our Wheel of Freaks and you get a little freak badge. And then I spin the wheel and pick a few freaks of the week. Like I said, I can't do that this week, but I'm going to pick a freak of the week anyway. And that person is going to be Ben Morin. Congratulations, Ben. Thank you so much for playing the Insta Egg. We really appreciate it. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, please do.
While we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out some very special freaks who've left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. First off, Marion Dubois. Love, love, love On Brand. We're so funny. I love this show. Get to learn a little, but it's easy listening. Thank you, Marion Dubois. Very glamorous. I imagine you're sipping a mint julep on your porch. Next, we have Emily in Vermont. Humor, positivity, and some award-winning research. Emmy award-winning research.
Thank you.
And you guys are getting it for free. CJ Berger says, love this show. I laugh through every single episode. Never turned on podcast release notifications till this show. And a little funny story here. In the 90s, Campbell's had a competition to find the next Campbell's kid. My best friend won and got a ton of free merch and some publicity. Maybe an ad or a feature on the local news. Can't really remember because it was 3rd grade. That's fun. If you have any stories or shout outs or anything like that, you can send us a message on Instagram. We love to hear from you guys. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll give you a shout out on the show. Instagram at OnBrandThePod. TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast. You can play John's Insta Egg. You can chat with us there and see our supplemental materials to support the show, provide a little visual stuff for things we've talked about. And with that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The Private Exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.